Hey everybody, I'm Corbin Hostler. This is Mining Modern, and this is our Fevered Visions deck. Unfortunately, this hand's a mulligan, despite being pretty sweet. I guess we keep this one. It's not a lot better. I mean, it could be a lot better. We have Lightning Bolts and Ascensions, and we get a Scry, and we'll keep that on top. So this is actually fine. We can play turn 2 Ascension and go from there. Anyway, so what the deck is a bunch of Pyromancer Ascension and Fevered Visions, and all we want to do at any point is just bounce their stuff. We want to play all these Eye of Nowheres, Boomerangs, all these things that make them have a bunch of cards in hand, keep them from killing us, and then eventually we'll kill them with the Fevered Visions or the Pyromancer Ascension. Don't see this breaking modern anytime soon, but it's definitely a fun concept I wanted to give a shot here. Our opponent pretty clearly sitting on Mana Leak here, but whatever. We need to try this anyways. If it gets countered, it gets countered. It's gonna get negated actually. Okay, whatever. I thought it was worth a shot. You know, it's unlikely that it would work, but the upside is high enough if it does. All right, well now we can Thought Scour ourselves. We can go ahead and Eye of Nowhere his Hallowed Fountain, and we can Eye of Nowhere next turn and get our first counter going on Ascension. Fevered Vision is absolutely absurd against control decks for what it's worth. So finding out ways to resolve that is going to be key here. But just having this turn to Ascension might also be very good. All right, so let's see if he's going to counter. He's going to Snapcaster this. Sure. And Snapcaster negate our Eye of Nowhere. Actually, get to bolt this thing down. That's fine. It's fine. I say it's fine. We're not in a good spot here. We have one card in hand. We mulliganed. We've drawn 4 lands. We have a lot of dead draws, but we do have a Pyromancer Ascension at 1 counter and the ability to put it to 2 counters. So there are draws on our deck that are good, and that's one of them. All right, so I'm actually going to pass here. At the end of the turn, I might. Is this thing happening this turn or next turn? Next turn. We could Lightning Bolt to trigger it, and then we could Boomerang twice. Obviously, it'd be better if we knew we were going to be able to untap into a Fevered Visions after that, but I think I'm going to do nothing. Great. There's a lot of different ways this game can play out right now. The good news is we're going to be able to have these Boomerangs copied. Unless he Cryptics us right here. Bounces it. Alright, well, we'll bolt him to put a counter on it. And we'll Boomerang some stuff, I guess. This is not good for us. Nothing about this is good for us. But at least we get to bounce a couple of his lands. We set him back a long way. Now he's going to draw off his Ancestral Vision and not be able to do much with it. Unfortunately, all he needs is a counter spell to stop our Ascension from hitting Plaguein. He has 12 cards in hand. Oh, if only we had Fevered Visions. Yeah, drawing the Lightning Bolts in this game when we wanted bounce spells, a little rough. Oh, is he actually... Oh my gosh. Main deck Engineered Explosives, unfair. It's unreal, actually. And he's like just blue-white too, so it can never be more than 2. This is real bad for us. Alright, Fevered Visions off the top, please. That is not a Fevered Visions. We may as well play this so that if we have any later, they actually get to do something. Even if he pops it, we could try to Boomerang, I guess. Okay, well, we're past here. He's not blue-white, by the way. He does have red mana in there. Alright, so I guess I Boomerang my own Ascension. If he counters a Boomerang, he counters a Boomerang, but... Looks like we do get it back. All right, that's something. Get ourselves in cycle here. Pretty good one. Okay, well, it actually it resolved on the way back down, so that is good for us. This Thought Scour will put one counter on it. Can't say I expected to be boomeranging my own things, but I guess it is something the card does. Oh my gosh, he gets to Tech Edge our red mana. That's annoying. All right, let's see if we Thought Scour into something good. Is he thinking about countering our Thought Scour? We get a counter on it regardless. I guess that would be fine on his part. Something to do with a mana leak, or has he got a cryptic? Of course he has a cryptic. All right. Oh wow, and we can't cast it anymore because we were unlucky enough to. Oh my god, you play the two color deck and can't not get color screwed. That's a tilting way to lose. Yep, makes sense. Man. All right, well, I guess if this is how we got to play this game, it's how we got to play the game. All right. We'll try. Ascension, are you going to resolve somehow? Seems rather unlikely. I feel like we're getting Snapcaster Cryptic here. All right, we're just dead. I'm not banging my head against the wall anymore. All right, let's sideboard and see what we can do here. This seems fine. Counterflux seems fine. Cage seems fine. Dispels obviously need them. Engulf the Shores we definitely do not need. The Blood Moons are good. What are we looking at here? The remands are like mediocre, but we do need them. Just gonna play one Cage. Like, I want to cut bolts. But we have very few ways to win if we cut bolts. It's like solely Fevered Visions because we can't Ascension bolt him at that point. But maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe something like this good? No, I think we want these. Keeping him, whatever, we won't play bolts. We'll just kill him with Fevered Visions. That's what the deck's named after. I mean, to be fair, it's also a little unlikely that we get there just by Ascension bolting him. Because that requires, him to be low, us to have really gone off, and with only, only 4 burn spells on the deck, that just doesn't seem incredibly realistic. All right, let's start this party off with the Thought Scour. And hope that we don't get Spell Pierce here trying to play this Ascension. We've already managed to flood out, so that's not an ideal start. Okay, well, this works. Okay, we are definitely going to flood out, but we'll do what we can. This would be an ideal start if we didn't have 4 lands in our hand. We'd be already getting counters on it. We'd be able to double bounce pretty soon. All right, come on, deck. Give me something good. Thought Scour, perhaps? All right, Wipe Away is a magic card. I don't think I need to do anything with it. It has Split Second. This may lead him to believe he can, put a land to play tapped or something, and we can wipe away his island. Exactly like that. It gives us the opportunity to resolve something here, which is very important. He might Tech Edge us and be fine, honestly. Oh my god, actually, that was beautiful. It's exactly what we wanted to happen. He probably could have shocked himself, but he didn't. And then we were able to get him as a result, and then we draw the perfect card. Wow, and Thought Scour off the top here is also good. Okay, this is looking all right for the home team. We have both of our pieces online. I'm going to let this resolve. Take your damage and try to Thought Scour myself. A second counter on our Ascension here. All right. Any Boomerang is gas. Ooh, Counterflux is a nice one too. All right, he's got a discard even. He's going to have that Ancestral Vision go off next turn and do absolutely nothing. We're going to continue to flood out, but now that we have these things online, I actually feel pretty fine. All right, another Fevered Vision, sure. Draw all the cards off the Ancestral Vision, man. You got it. Sure thing, up to 11, man. But we can counterflux anything he does if he tried to engineer explosives, for instance, to take out, probably our Fevered Visions. He's just going to do nothing. He's going to draw a card and take 1,000,000 damage. All right, now this is actually sweet for us because we can play Fevered Visions, and when he counters back probably with a Cryptic or something, we can counterflux it. Then we'll have 2 Fevered Visions in play along with the Ascension. Oh, that works too. All right, so red, blue, blue. Fevered Visions. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about where we're at here. It's going to be Snapcaster. So I don't want to get negated or whatever, so I'm going to let him resolve the Snapcaster because we're winning that race handily, as a matter of fact. What happens is if I were to counterflux the Snapcaster, then he just has negate in hand or something. That'd be pretty bad for us. What did he target? Okay, now I see we're passing back to him to remand it. So we can remand his remand. I think that's probably best. Alright, no need to use the ability. Now we get a draw, and we could draw a bounce spell. Days Undoing is a card. Okay, well, we'll pass. We'll draw 2 at the end step here. Don't think we need to cast Days Undoing at any point, but we might. Is that our Sweet Rise from the Tides? Alright, so he's not got a lot of pressure. He's got 2 Fevered Visions to deal with. And he is instead more worried about our Pyromancer Ascension. That's interesting because I actually don't care about it this game. Fever Visions is what we care about. So he's more than welcome to blow it up. As he takes 4. And we get to untap here into Counterflux, so. Sure. You can have our Ascension. He even killed his own Snapcaster. There's just no way that was worth it. We'll play another Fevered Visions. Thank you very much. Fevered Visions All-Star. Just draw 3 at the end of our turn. So he's just dead in 2 turns. There's no way he's going to let us have any of this next time. At least we took a game. I feel pretty good about taking a game here. Oh, that's beautiful. I have a Thought Scour ourselves here. 8, 6, 4. Pass the turn back. Oh, we'll let you discard first. 10 cards in hand. That's great. Yeah, I like the counterfluxes in the sideboard. I see how good they can be here when you really need to get a few revisions down. And there's another one. I like it. No need to cast anything. Just pass the turn and let him die in his end step. We actually don't even need to show him Counterflux, which is kind of nice. Because it could be definitely one of those gotcha spells. Sure, your first one can happen because it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's going to make us discard whatever. I'm not showing him Blood Moon either. I'm going to discard this, this, and a Boomerang. That's fine. Don't want to show him anything he doesn't already know about. And we have 2 Counterfluxes up here. Oh, I see. Sure, don't care. You can go back up to 7. That's not gonna change much here. Takes another turn to kill him, but okay, takes a couple turns to kill him. Probably not getting burned out. So I wonder if I just go for the Rise from the Tides. We're gonna have 7/9 mana, so we could do this and have a Counterflux open. I guess there's no reason not to be Boomeranging him. Since we can get the cards out of our hand. The question is, will we need a Rise from the Tides? Probably not. Sure. Boomerang at this. We can even Blood Moon him here if we need to. Sure. You can, yeah, that's fine. Keeping your stuff is all the same. Important thing is we get to resolve whatever we want. So this is 5, 8, 10. So I can play the other Fevered Visions, or I can just play a Rise from the Tides and have Counterflux open. I think that's better. I mean, there's obviously no way that this guy has Wraths in his deck right now, so... We'll make 1 billion zombies. Look at that, 13 zombies. So now he actually has to have, he actually has to have a board wipe to deal with this rather than trying to, Lightning Helix and Snapcaster Lightning Helix his way back into things. And get in a situation where he's racing Fevered Visions. He has to deal with our board, which is way more difficult. It means he has to Wrath, but then also not die. So if he used 4 mana to Wrath, he'd have 4 mana left open, which isn't enough to do anything. He's just going to die instead, I think. He's going to try to Cryptic on our turn, but we're just going to Counterflux it twice. Okay, we're just going to get there. All right, we got one. Is it even possible for us to win another game here? I am not confident in that at all. I don't, oh man. I think we're going to have to try to Blood Moon him or something here. I'm almost tempted to play the Crumble to Dust. I really am, just as, I'm getting rid of one of these Days Undoings. Get this other Cage in there so we don't get Snapcaster now that we're on the draw. It is tempting to play like to cut. I mean, probably not the Days Undoing, but I mean, I don't know what we would cut, to be honest. But cut something to just have access to it, because you could have a game where you bounce, crumble, but he always has 2 opens, so it's always going to be able to get negated now that we're on the draw. So I think not playing him is correct. As fun as it is to land destruction somebody. All right, let's see if we can get there. That game basically played out exactly how we wanted it to against Control. There's a lot of Fever Visions. It's exactly what we want to see. Will it be good enough? There's no telling. But it is what we want. Alright, so we'll just pass the turn, try to Boomerang him in the end step, and hope that gives us a window to resolve a Fevered Visions. Again, the same thing might happen where he plays a tapped land. Think twice. Sure, whatever. We would hope that he plays a tap land and keeps up a... Oh my gosh, he doesn't have another land. This might work. What if he Ghost Quartered us? I don't think our deck has basic mountains in it. And he's going to remand us. Sure, that's fine. The important thing is he tapped out. And we can play Fevered Visions. All right, well, I don't know if we're going to be able to get there. Still a long way to go, but this is the right... This is what we want. It's exactly what we want. Yeah, take damage. Shock yourself. Die. Clean up. So we have a lot of good stuff working for us here. I'm going to keep up Counterflux. Yeah. Keep up Counterflux here. Because we don't want to get... We want to not let a Cryptic resolve. He wants the Celestial Purge us, huh? I think that I do have to counter. Just given how important having this in play is to our plan. Oh, this is... Whoops, I didn't... Oh, this is fine. It only costs 1 red, not 2 red. It's 2 blue, but it's fine, so we can still Thought Scour at the end of his turn. Alright, so he kept it because of that Celestial Purge, I'm sure. But we get to keep our Fevered Visions now, which is pretty important. At least for the moment. And we have another, so if he... we have 2 more. It's the best card in the matchup. It's better than Pyromancer Ascension in the matchup. And he's got lands. He's still probably taking damage, though. He has Cryptic. Don't know what he'd be considering here, but he has access to Cryptic now, and we did have to burn a Counterflux. And he's just going to take it. Okay. Yep, down to... You're down to 11. We have a Boomerang. Land? Perfect. So now I'm happy just passing the turn back and seeing what happens here. You know, if he goes for the... There's no play that really benefits us, because if we were to try to do anything here... Well, I guess we could. There's a couple different ways. If we try to cast something and he just casts... Get rid of this. We have plenty of these. If he were to just Cryptic counter bounce there, that'd be pretty bad for us. I guess we could have I have nowhered in the first main phase, and then in the second main phase, well, make him tap mana, right? Then move to combat, which means he doesn't have access to Cryptic, at least in the second main phase. If you know, we want to try something else there where we go for second visions, that line would have been acceptable, I think. But I also like where we get here and just Boomerang him a couple times and try to resolve a Fevered Visions. Alright, he's going to Snapcaster Purge us, huh? Oh my gosh, this is about to be beautiful. Wow. Okay, so... Oh my gosh. Says... So... Can't cast... Oh, no, he can still do that. Never mind. I was about to like, wow, we can wipe away his Hallowed Fountain. Doesn't quite work like that. We can Boomerang his Hallowed Fountain, though, which I was going to do anyway. Oh, I was already doing that. That's fine. Okay, so we can Boomerang... He can Purge that. We have another one to play. So I'm going to Boomerang... Nothing. I'm going to allow this to happen. And then I'll get his other land. And then we will untap and hopefully play 2 Fever Visions if we draw a land. Okay, so we're going to at least have 1 Fever Visions here. We have 2 shots at land to get a second Fever Visions and play 2 of them, which would be great. He's going to Spell Snare one of them. Oh, that's fine. It's more about making him tap mana than it is actually bouncing. I mean, bouncing the land's not irrelevant, but... Alright, let's Thought Scour ourselves here. Did not hit a land on Cage right in time, but whatever. Alright, so if we hit a land here, we're good. We did. Beautiful. Alright. Fever Visions number 1. And Fever Visions number 2. And pass the turn. We'll get a draw 2, go back up to 5. We have Flooded Strand next turn for another land drop. We have Cage. He has to deal with 2 Fevered Visions in play, which are putting quite the clock on him. Turns out Fevered Visions, just like in Standard, if you can resolve it against a control deck, is incredibly good. Now he does have helixes and stuff like that, so we're not out of the woods at all here. Wow, and he actually just drew his best card against us. Oh, things were going so well until that happened. Oh, how disappointing. I guess maybe I don't know. Am I supposed to be playing? Am I supposed to have played around that? I don't know. I'm sure he just has he doesn't have more than like 2 explosives in his deck, and if he didn't have it right there, the game was basically over. So I guess that I have nowhere a land. And I guess we'll Days Undoing. Just because no, I won't. I would say we actually have the opportunity to resolve a Days Undoing right now. But we should still have that ability coming up, and we'll get to shuffle, hopefully, our Fevered Visions into our deck. So we'll take 2. I am worried about just getting burned out of the game at this point, but it is what it is. Wow, that's actually incredibly annoying. Oh. Every time we start to claw back into things, I guess I wipe away the relic. He can't counter this. Ascension, huh? I'm going to play Ascension because I think he'll care about it enough to burn a counter if he has it. Or he might not because he has Relic in hand. Okay, perfect. He'll negate it. That's fine. That's actually perfectly fine. So we can even do this. We can Boomerang this land. And we can, so even if he taps mana, like I said, we can now move into our second main phase, get rid of that mana, then Days Undoing. And that's exactly what we're going to get to do. Okay, well, we're playing to our outs here. I don't know if we're going to get there, but we're playing it right. Alright, Days Undoing. The problem is just dying to burn at this point, which is, definitely a thing that can happen to us. He could also Spell Pierce us here, and we'd be completely wrecked. But, okay, he's not. Well, we can hope that he gets into some bad cards. Okay, well, we didn't draw great ones. They're not the worst either. And we have to take damage. Snapcaster might just kill us. Take out the bolts. Okay. Oh. It's actually just horrendous. How badly we drew off of that was actually just absurd because he drew back into Relic. We played it so perfectly. We made him get rid of everything, and he drew back into Relic, and we drew into cards that don't do much. Am I really just going to Eye Nowhere a Snapcaster and not die? Not this turn, but we may not be too far away from it. Maybe I should have played a fetch land there. What an unlucky turn of events. He had to have that Engineered Explosives exactly when he had it, and he then wheeled back into this Relic, and we wheeled into the cards that rely on our graveyard rather than other Fevered Visions. It's not running very well here. Okay, well, sure, bring it on. Down to 7. Great, that makes perfect sense. Play the Ascension. Don't know how we're ever going to get counters on this with our hand as it is. I just don't particularly think we can win anymore. I think we got pretty unlucky. So I have nowhere to Snapcaster. Pass the turn. Yeah, there's just almost zero chance of us winning the game, I think, at this point. We drew another Ascension. It's just series of very unfortunate events. And not the Netflix show. Or the books if you're old. But yeah, just really rather unlucky. I guess the best thing we can hope to do is have some pretty good remands here. You know what? Remanding a Cryptic is about as good as it gets. Oh, great. We drew another land. Makes sense. Okay, well, he's just going to not shock himself. All right. We might get another untap step. That was after that wheel. Things could have. This game could have. There's so many ways this game could have broken whatever to win for us, and we just didn't find any of them. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, I'm just gonna. We'll lead with the Fevered Visions, I guess. Like I want to rise from the tides first. Yeah, I'm just gonna rise from the tides. He has to pop the relic, I guess, if he does this, or he gives us a zombie. I don't think he cares much about giving us a zombie, but if these two Ascensions we had in play were Fevered Visions, I don't think we could have lost. Instead, we can't win. Ah, we got a zombie. Look at us go. Do we get a Fevered Visions too? I'm thinking we're going to get Cryptic bounce our zombie here. Yep, that makes sense. I don't know. I mean, if I do that in the other order, then the spell I cared about resolving was the Fevered Visions, and I didn't want to get mana leaked, so I played it first. Clearly did not work out, but still pretty fine with my sequencing. Now we're just dead on board to this Colonnade. Man, what a rough way to lose, but good match. We're fighting uphill with this deck. I like it, but these are not the matchups we want so far. And I don't know, that matchup would have been fine, actually. Like I said, if it wasn't for that Engineering Explosives, we would have won Game 3, and we would have won the match. It was just very unfortunate the way it all worked out. Good match.